Hi, very good afternoon, ma'am.
Hi, Kulbir. How are you? Good afternoon to
Yes,
you too.
yes, I'm doing great, pretty well, and excited for the conversation. And thank you so much for asking. And how
Same
about
here.
you?
I'm doing well as well. Saturdays are slightly busy. I attend Sanskrit classes. I'm learning Sanskrit now. So Saturday mornings are designed, I've kept that time for it. But otherwise, yeah, Saturday is quite productive for me. So thank you for asking. And I'm excited to be here as well to converse with you. I know it took a little while for us to get here, but I'm so glad that, it worked out for both of us.
So, okay, should we start with the introduction part?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so please introduce yourself for my viewers.
Okay, I will. My name is Sonika Shetty. I am from Mumbai, India, born and raised over here. I did spend 5 years of my time in the recent past in Canada. I was in Toronto for 5 years. Before that, a little brief about me. I have done my law and I have a master's in English literature. I used to practice law, but very early on, I realized that law may not be for me because though I like to talk, but going to court every day, dealing with just highly emotional and very high stakes clients may not be a thing for me. So I decided to do something else. So I pursued flying. I decided to be a flight attendant. I worked for Jet Airways for 2 years and saw the world, traveled quite a bit, met a lot of new people. And then I got married and I realized that I wanted to spend more time home. So I decided to then become a college professor. I was a visiting faculty in three colleges, and over a period of 3 years, I taught law subjects and English literature subjects as well. But then there's a great opportunity that came up, which was going to Canada, and my husband and I took that opportunity. We moved to Canada. We didn't know anybody over there. We had no jobs, no nothing, but we figured out life over there slowly and steadily. Over there, I was working with Apple. While working, I decided that I realized I was missing teaching. So I did a Teach English as Secondary Language program, which is essentially teaching English to newcomers in Canada. While doing that, I used to always think that, wow, this course would be so helpful for people in India, that I feel like we really have that trepidation when it comes to speaking English in public, and something like that would be helpful. Well, tides turned. It turned out that I could come back to India, and 2 years ago, my husband and I came back. And after coming back, also, I was on the fence. I was like, should I do it? Should I not? But then last year, to the end of the last year, I was like, what am I waiting for, right? Like, it's now or never. Let's do it. And then I decided to start my own academy called Speak Easy Studio. So, Speak Easy Studio essentially is an English proficiency academy. We take classes for kids and for adults and for homemakers. I also do corporate trainings, say compile, compliance, and also in terms of basic communication. So the whole idea is to just let hope is to make every Indian comfortable in their skin, to know that the English is good and we can make it better, but to take that the burden of, oh my god, how am I going to learn English, that away from all Indians. So
Yes,
that is a little something about.
great, great, great. Actually, last day I was watching your video with Krishna ma'am. From that video, I got to
Okay.
know, okay, you were in law, but you have
Yes.
shifted from law to English. So it's fantastic
Correct.
because earlier I was watching your video with Ram sir. So from that video,
Okay.
I got attracted. Okay, wow, your way of speaking and your personality, your aura is like a bold. So I feel energetic and I want to connect. Okay, I should connect with ma'am.
uh,
So then
That is
I,
so sweet. Thank you for saying that. And thank you for taking the time out to watch those videos also. YouTube has been new for me. Like, I'm still foraying into the
yeah,
world of YouTube. As you know, I am not so active, but if somebody calls me, I try to make the time. The last 1 month or so, right, I couldn't reach out to a lot of people because my classes were going on. And I'm
hmm,
trying to fix the schedule. This is new for me right now. So I'm trying to, like, fix classes, trainings, how to do it. So now I think I have a little bit of a semblance of, oh, this is what my schedule looks like. And that is when I realized that maybe I should reach out to people who reached out to me, and that's how we connected. So thank you so much. But Kulbir, it'll be great if you can give me a little introduction about you also.
yeah,
To be
yeah.
really honest, I didn't do a lot of research, so that'll be great.
Yes, sure, sure, sure. So my name is Kulbir Kaur. I'm from Punjab. And if I talk about my qualification, I hold BCA and MCA degree. Apart from this, I talk about my profession. I'm assistant professor at the lovely professional university, and I'm
Okay.
teaching. I'm working. Apart from this, I'm a mother of a beautiful daughter. She's just 15 months
Oh,
old, and that's pretty
oh,
much
that's
about
amazing.
me. And if I talk about my YouTube journey, I have started my YouTube channel. It's 4 months. Yeah, 4 months ago I have started my
Oh,
YouTube
that's
channel.
amazing. Okay.
So early I was not that much confident and perfect proficient at English, but now I'm trying to learn and boost my confidence, and that's
That's
why I
amazing.
have started my YouTube channel, and it's totally dedicated to beginners so that they can also learn from my journey, from my experience, so they can start. Sometimes people don't start, they afraid to take first
Exactly.
baby step. So that's why I have
Yes.
shared my complete journey, how I used to practice, and these kind of things. So gradually I'm shifting on conversational videos. As I'm working, I don't get that much time to
Yeah.
to be consistent on YouTube. But I try to post at least one to two videos per week. So that's pretty
Okay.
much about me.
That's great. You saying pretty much, but that sounds like your hands are really full, right? With work, with your baby, and the YouTube thing. It takes a lot of work. And for anybody who's watching it out there, let me tell you something. This YouTube and being a social media person is not easy, because I know the little 1 minute reel that I put on Instagram takes me so much time. So I can
Yeah.
only imagine for somebody who's consistently posting on YouTube, it must be
Hmm.
taking a lot of time.
Lot of efforts and time. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So
Great.
I'm excited for the conversation. So I want to talk with you personally about your personal life, because thing is, when I watched your first video with Ram sir, from that video
Okay.
I actually felt your way of talking and how you explain the things, and I found, okay, you are bold. And what do you feel? What is your opinion? Uh, what are you in your real life?
Um, I what you said, right? Bold. I'm not sure if I have to talk about myself. I don't know if bold is the adjective I would use, only because I feel like I sometimes don't, speak up in a lot of positions, right? Not because of language, just because as a person, I'm very non-confrontational. Okay, which is exactly what you should be to be a lawyer, right? I just don't like to argue unnecessarily. And if I feel like between two people in a group, somebody may not be interested in listening, I would just stop talking. So bold, I think, I don't know if somebody else sees me like that, but I think I'm not bold. I think I am just somebody who is, I'm an extrovert for sure. I'm also extremely social. So I like to be in new situations. I love meeting new people. So if you tell me that, hey, we're invited to a party and we don't know anybody in there, people sometimes are kind of like, fearful. They're like, oh, am I going to like it? I'm always excited that, oh my God, wow, we don't know anybody at that party. This will be fun. So I think I'm just looking at it as a challenge. I think that is something I really truly enjoy. Connecting to people, and especially to new people, because new people have so many things that are going on in their lives, and you learn so much from them, from their journeys, smallest. I was thinking about this today. I try to kind of replay the conversation in my head, okay? I do have I'll say, good memory when it comes to, spoken word. I remember conversations. And then sometimes I go through it and I will also, assess myself that, oh, I shouldn't have said that. Oh, maybe I should have said it differently, or for someone else. So I think I like to do that. I like to come home and dissect what I said. So I try to not make the same mistake again. So I think like that, I would say I am more self-critical slightly. I like to go like, oh, this was very bad, I shouldn't have said that, why would I say that, why did I say that? But otherwise, I think bold, for me, bold is a compliment. Let me tell you something. If you think I'm bold, I think that is a very big compliment for me, because I don't personally see myself like that.
Okay. But I know I felt through the conversation, okay? Yeah, from that intuition, I should connect. Okay, the thing, as you said, you are into trying to new things. I also.
Yes.
So actually, I also realized this thing from Krishma ma'am's video where you are talking. You were law student, okay. After that, uh, on your uh, what we can say, with your experience
Yes.
and with your choice, then you selected, I think, air hostess,
Yes. I
okay.
was a head, yeah, I was a flight attendant, yeah, for 2 years. Yes.
After that, you shifted on English classes, okay. So yeah, the
Yes.
thing
Professor.
is,
I taught in a college. No, yeah, I taught in a college. Yes.
yeah, you taught in college, now you are teaching in your own institute. So what do you want to go different, what you want to do in future, more different things, anything have you decided till now?
Not really. To be honest, all these things also in life, right? I don't think I ever sat and decided that, oh, this is what I'm going to do this next. I think in that way I am very, I carry my heart on my sleeve kind of stuff. If I don't feel some joy in something, I don't do it for too long.
Yeah,
Could be I do
that
people
is
the
the
same
thing.
thing. Yeah. Yeah. If something is not giving me joy anymore, I don't move on with that. For example, even clothes, right? You say you wear something a very long time. It may not work for you. I'm not saying you have to discard and do new things only. But if it stops bringing me joy, maybe this will bring joy to somebody else. So me not being a lawyer in a company, I leave, it makes place for another person to take my job, right? Maybe they are going to flourish at that. And I just am not going to flourish at that. So I think I always took life like that. That this is not bringing me joy anymore. So okay. Have I looked back at life when I was young? I used to go like, ooh, am I shifting jobs too often? What are people going to think about me? I cared a lot about, what society said because people would be like, oh, you change your job again. Oh, you change your job again. But then over a period of years, I have realized that it doesn't matter because it brought me so much joy every 2 years or every 3 years to learn something from scratch. As a kid, when you go to school and you learn something for the first time, that is the experience of starting a new profession. Everything is a blank slate for you. Okay, you are just here as a child learning everything possible. I think I really enjoyed that learning aspect of it. That is why I don't know what the future holds right now, but as of now, I'm very happy teaching, and I feel like of all the things I did, teaching is my happy place. I always loved when I was teaching. I was the happiest when I was teaching. And when I wasn't teaching, I missed it. So maybe this is my future calling. I may do something else a few years from now. But for now, I think I have found my true love.
Actually, I was also not into teaching earlier, but when I have
Okay.
since I have started, now I'm passing it to teach. So I want to pursue my career in teaching also. So, ma'am, second question
That's
I want to
amazing.
ask: uh, what is the one thing with you that you never compromise? Anything?
Wow, one thing I never compromise on. I think one thing I don't compromise is ever on self values. If I ever feel like I've been asked to do something which I am not okay with, or if there's a situation where, I'm expected to do like lie to someone or just do something which I don't think is the right thing, that I'm not okay with. Okay, be it the law thing also.
Hmm.
Sometimes, your seniors would expect that you lie to clients, that, it's
Hmm.
like this, it's like that. I dislike that. I profusely dislike doing that. Somebody has come to you putting all their trust in you as a professional,
Hmm.
and if we don't treat them like that and we don't give them the same grace, then we are really doing a disservice to our profession and to them. Same with a flight attendant also. People will be like, oh, it's okay, I don't have to do this. No, somebody has paid a full fare to come on this flight. Somebody has paid here to get these services. So all each and every flight, all the people on the flight should get the same service. So I think I don't like to compromise on values at all. That there's a work ethic, right? There's a work ethic code. Everybody's code is different, but I would like to stick to that code only. That if it doesn't work or doesn't serve me the purpose, I will talk to somebody and let them know that I'm not comfortable doing this.
Oh,
Like
wonderful,
that.
wonderful thought, wonderful. Yeah, should everyone should follow these kind of ethics in their life. Sometimes we compromise our values when we get
Yeah.
something,
See,
some
I
benefit.
understand in today's day and age, yeah, sometimes you have to do that, right? So I wouldn't say that it's my way or the highway, right? Sometimes we need the job, we need the money, and your boss is asking something unrealistic from you, but you have to do it. But somewhere you have that moral self code, right? that moral code inside you that tells you that this is not right, this is not right, this is not right. That I feel like even if I have done it, I have tried to stay true to it, that this was not the right thing. And to each, right, each and everybody, I think everybody wants to do the best job they can. Everybody wants to be the nicest person there is out there. But challenges are hard. We need to get a paycheck home also, right? I've also done things that I maybe didn't want to do, but I want that salary at the end of the month. So I feel like, yes, it is hard as a younger person, but I think once you start getting older, you realize that these things are more valued than other things.
Exactly. So, ma'am, how do you handle rude people? Or do you prefer to simply uh, wake away?
Rude people. See, if I can avoid them, I would avoid them, to be very honest. Like, if there was a way to avoid somebody who's rude or who's mean, I would try to stay out of it. But if you cannot, say I'm the only person who has to help them or something like that, I try to keep a smile on my face. And like I said, do what I'm here to do, say what I'm here to say, but leave. Also, but if somebody is going to be disrespectful to me or to anybody around me, that I'm not ready to take. Right? So that I very strongly and strongly believe. Because as a flight attendant, I saw this a lot. Right? Sometimes, customers on the flight, passengers would, misbehave with crew. They would say mean things, they would pass comments, and that not acceptable. Sorry. You bought a ticket on the flight. You did not buy a ticket, to disrespect humans on this flight. So I think that attitude sometimes people have. But if I feel like, I definitely will stand my ground and tell people that it's not okay to speak to people like that. But if there is a larger picture at hand, and if you cannot, speak back to them, I think best avoid people like that. And I always tell people this, I tell my students this also. If in your social group or your friend group, you have somebody who is rude to you, or a family member also, who's rude to you and who's mean to you, who's always picking on you, you have to distance yourself from them.
Exactly.
Okay. How you distance yourself is, you either tell your parents or an elder person, and if you are an adult yourself, try to make sure that you do not engage much with them, because some people do not learn. Some people are not ready to take feedback also. So you should not be putting yourself into situations which hurt you and which demean you and break your morale. So for any young person listening, or any young adult, or anybody, or even an older person listening, if somebody disrespects you and you think it's a pattern with them, you have to sever your relationship with that person. Okay, or at least try to avoid them, because nobody is worth more than your mental peace. Exactly. Nobody on this earth, right, owes that extra time and that extra grace. If they cannot provide you that, you should not be providing them that. Okay, so very important, leave situations like that.
Exactly. Yeah, I can totally relate with it. I'm also that kind of person. When I feel okay, this matter is not that much necessary to talk, just avoid.
Yeah.
Keep quiet and run.
Exactly.
That is the thing.
See, that's a good, I love to say, right? Speech is silver, silence is golden. Sometimes silence is such a great answer, right? Without saying anything. Somebody said something rude, mean to you, is trying to, taunt you. You know how, like, sometimes friends also will taunt and tell you something. It's okay. Just smile and stay silent. It will echo so much louder than your words sometimes.
So, ma'am, my next question, based on this question, how do you deal with the people who deliberately try to provoke you?
Deliberately try to provoke me. Like I said, first thing is, self-preservation is key. We humans are taught that, right? If you're doing something and something falls on, how you're supposed to, how we do this, how we duck. This is just our human brain telling us that, oh, you're supposed to save yourself from this. I think the same thing and same way works with people also. If somebody's constantly, being throwing things at you, verbally, mentally, something, it is our job to save ourselves. So my saving thing is, like I said, I try to be as polite as I can, but also there is a limit to my politeness. So then after that, I let them know at least once. Again, no disrespect meant to anybody, even if they're 25, 30 years older than me or younger than me, that I'm sorry, I don't want to talk on this topic, or I'm not comfortable discussing this. But if they still don't get that and they still repeat it, then like I said, it is upon me to maintain that distance. Right? So next time I will definitely try to avoid meeting these kind of people, or I will try to see if it is worth my time or not to go and visit them, or I'll only go if there are other people also whom I can speak with. So there's some adjustments. See, we live in a society, right? Kulbir, you also will agree. I'm also a woman. married, so I also have responsibilities. I have to go to events, I have to meet relatives, my side, my husband's side, and there are always going to be people saying rude, nasty things to you. Sometimes like ha ha ha, just jokingly, but
Yeah.
totally unscathed, underhanded remarks. But it is important to safeguard yourself. So I kind of like do a mental math, like okay, avoid this person as much as possible. Let's try to keep conversation. Hi, hello, how are you? I'm good, thank you, and move on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then bye bye.
It is hard, right, to completely say like I'm not going to meet her, I'm not going to meet him, I'm not going to meet them, because like
Exactly.
this, you'll have no relatives in your life,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
relatives or friends or anything. So I think not entirely going like I'm never going to leave my house, I'm never going to talk somebody. This may not work in real world. So something in lines of hi, hello, bye, thank you so much, smile, and then move on. That's it. No need to sit and talk about life with these kind of people.
Hmm. Exactly. 1 second. Huh?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So, ma'am, next thing I would like to ask, uh,
Yes.
like, what the things and like, why are people nowadays, especially, they afraid to be commitment?
Okay. um See, to be honest, I am really not the right person to ask, because I have been married for a while now. And
Okay.
my husband used to be my boyfriend since a very young age. So I have only and only spent most of my life, at least romantically, with one person only. So I may not be the right person. But I'll also tell you this: when I was a lawyer, I used to practice in the family court. So I used to specialize in divorce and alimony and those kind of cases. So I did see that a lot of people will fall out of love. They would have love marriages, arranged marriages, they would want to get a divorce in a few years. I think that it's always, not always, most of the times it is people are waiting for that, what if somebody better is out there?
Hmm.
Right? I think that is the reason why a huge amount of commitment phobia happens, is because this person is good. I like her or I like him. What if there is somebody better out there? Right? It's sometimes that mindset that can do that. Sometimes it is just that people have not resolved their own self issues, right? Their issues could be with honesty, because issues could be with intimacy, with anything, with so many other things that we have going on. But we are only not clear what we want, and then we try to date somebody or be with somebody or do some kind of commitment, and that's the reason why it does not work out. So I think knowing yourself is very important, right? What I am, who I am, how I am, right? These questions we need to ask ourselves, and
Hmm.
then try to find a partner, or commit to somebody who is going to match that thing. It's hard. See, two like-minded people cannot live together,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Two people who have the same aggression, same ego, it's always going to clash. So I think it's very important, like I said, to ask yourself, who
Hmm.
am I, right? How am I going to live with someone? Am I easy to live with? I think we sometimes always blame the other person.
Other
Oh, you have
person.
no idea how hard they are, right? How hard they are, how this he is, how that she is. But it's hard to ask yourself, am I a nice
What
person
do
here?
you?
Did I
Yeah.
do the right thing, right?
Yeah.
Right? So many times I think we, like, if I get into like an argument with my husband doesn't argue back at all. And as you can tell, I'm really the speaker. So I will like say all these things, all these things, all these things. And my husband will only reply saying, okay, right? And I will write him essays on essay of messages. When we were young, I would do that. And I would always fight with him. And he told me this. He was like, if he also responds back the same way, then our fight will never come to an end. Right? Somebody has to de-escalate the situation. So now I think, like I said, I'm growing. As I've been growing up, I ask myself that, would I like, if I had done that to somebody else, would I like that? I always put myself in the other person's situation. So I think this is a nice way sometimes to assess, are we being difficult or the other person is being difficult? And I think most of the times you'll find the answer is us.
Actually, the thing is, earlier I was connecting with Manju ma'am,
Uh-huh.
and we were talking about the same thing. Like, we are not ready to, like, every time we just try to highlight others' mistake. You did this. You did this. You spoke. You
Correct.
spoke
Exactly.
this. We don't accept our
Yes.
mistake, and what we don't try to rectify ourselves. So that is the thing.
Yes.
So nowadays, first thing is ego, and second thing is patience. In every commitment,
Absolutely.
this is a problem for
Agree.
every commitment. So yeah, it
Agree.
happens with
Patience is
everyone.
key.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. We're all in this. We all would like to do better. But when your emotions take over, right? I know
Hmm.
that anger takes over,
Hmm.
your emotion, your pride, whatever takes over, right? They say that, right? Anger, it blinds you. It blinds you in anger, blinds you in jealousy, whatever. These kind of emotions, they blind you. So it's hard. But I think once you've cooled down, right? I think it's good. Everybody should do a self check to go like, okay, what in this situation, if I was on the other side, would I have done the same thing or not? Right? I think sometimes it's important. People say, "No, walk in somebody else's shoe, and you will know how it feels." It's essentially that, right? Give your partner that grace. Walk in their shoes for a bit and see that were they right to say something like that. I think a little. If you really care about a relationship, you have to make it work one way or the other, and that
Yeah.
I think communication is very important.
Yeah. So one thing triggered in my mind, actually,
Yeah.
nowadays, for especially for women, what is more important, financial independence or emotional independence?
Both. But I will tell you this: that if you asked me a few years ago, I would have said financial independence. Of course, if you have money, you have everything. Now, over a period of years, I think I've realized that money is very important in life, right? It is
Hmm.
very important. It makes a lot of life's issues bearable. But I think emotional independence is so important because I have now, over a period of years, seen women who have money. Okay, they have money of their own. They have money of their own. They have inherited money from their parents that was left to them. But yet they're not entirely happy because they don't have the emotional independence
Hmm.
to, take care of themselves, put themselves first. That. So I feel like today, if you ask me, emotional independence is right above financial independence.
It's over about the on the financial independence.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because
Sometimes I
see, everything is happening here, right? If you
yeah,
think everything is happening here, all the fear, the happiness, the satisfaction, everything is happening in the brain. The brain is doing so many things together. Money, yes, will add value to your life and you can do things. Let's be honest with you. Instead of going in an auto rickshaw, you will go in an Uber van, in a Uber. If not, you can get a better car. The degrees will vary. But if you're emotionally unhappy, and if you're emotionally scared to do things, right, you will not be able to utilize the money also. So it's
exactly.
important that all of us, especially women, right, make ourselves stronger. And that is emotionally, mentally, just strong, make yourself strong. Know that you have everything that you need to live in the world. And not having something does not define your worth.
Hmm.
And this I feel like comes a lot with, especially language education. Sometimes people around you, belittle sometimes women, saying that, oh, you don't even know so much. No, itna bhi nahi aata hai, right? Itna bhi
Hmm.
nahi sikhaya maa baap ne. It starts from there. Then it comes down to maybe your husband telling you something. Then it comes down to maybe your kids telling you something. Oh, mommy, you don't even know so much. I
Me.
think that for all of that, it's very important that women work on their self confidence because we have it in us. Trust me, women can bear children, go to work, do everything, but we have to know our self worth for that.
Hmm. Exactly. Yeah, emotional independence is more important. Exactly.
100%. Yes.
Okay. Okay, so men, after marriage, women should change their surname or not?
I have not changed my last name. As you can see, my last name is Shetty. My husband is Sharma. So I haven't changed my last name. I get a lot of flack from it from government offices. When I went to renew my passport, he was like, why is your husband's name Sharma? So I told him, because his name is Sharma and mine isn't. And then he's just giving me like a long lecture on why women should change their name and everything. I was like, okay, 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 okay. And I came out. So I get it. Sometimes, see, personal choice. Again, like I tell you, everything in life is a personal choice. Okay, if you think that this works out for you, please do it. I have a friend who changed her name 2 or 1 hour after she got married. Like
Hmm.
she got married and there was a Facebook update saying that she updated her name over there. Right? So some people truly like it. Am I going
Hmm.
to judge her? Absolutely not. She loves that name. She really likes putting her husband's name and her husband's last name. So if it brings you joy, please do it. It never. I asked my husband this. I told him because I've known him since a very young age, right? So I always, in fact, I call my husband Sharma because in school we always called him by his last name only. So I asked him, like, do you want me to change my last name? And he was like, no, you just say Shetty because that is how I know you, right? Because ours was a love marriage. He knew me for so many years before we got married. So I think I never felt, because nobody ever asked me this in the family, not his family, not my family, that why have you not changed your name? My in-laws never asked me. Okay, that why haven't you added, our name or something? So I just kept it like this. I like my name. I like Sonika Shetty. I like Sonika Shashikant Shetty. It's my dad's name. I want to also be proud of the lineage I come from, and also my parents also, right? So personal choice, live and let live. If people want to do it,
Yeah.
do it 100%. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Just don't give grief to people who don't do things that you do, because then that is what causes people stress and anxiety, that oh my god, she always judges me. Don't do that to somebody. That's my only request.
So
What
okay,
about you?
let's.
What do you think? Wait,
I
I have a
think
question. What do you think?
about the surname. Actually,
Yes.
personally, in Punjab, uh, everyone changed, but
Okay.
everyone changed these kind of things after marriage. But I think personally, same. If the girl is not ready, then no need to force her. Okay, because there
Right.
is a no, there is no issue. If they want to go with
Yes.
the same name, it's okay. It's not wrong.
Yeah. Agreed.
So I think there is
No,
no
that's true.
issue. So
You know
perfectly
what?
fine.
I actually have a fun fact for this. I'm not sure. I don't want to give the wrong country. I think it's Chile or some country in South America where it is illegal to change your last name.
Hmm.
Because according to them, changing your last name or your surname is changing identity. So according to them, why do you want to change it, right? Because they think that from a criminal activity perspective, like that, you may change your name because you have to hide something. So it is illegal in a few countries to change your name entirely. Again, it is only in that country. Again, I'm not saying it should be illegal, but yes, to each its own. If it brings you joy, do it. If it doesn't bring you joy, don't do it. If anybody is worried, my husband is absolutely okay with me keeping my maiden last name, because, like I said, I always called him Sharma growing up, and he called me Shetty. So we know each other from our last names. So our last names are a part of our big identity. Everybody in my friend group calls me Shetty. All my friends have only called me Shetty growing up.
Oh.
So they don't even call me Sonika. In Bombay, it's a common thing sometimes. You just call friends by their last names. Because, Mumbai is a cosmopolitan city. So you have North Indians, South Indians, all of them living together. So then, it's such a nice marker, your last name. So everybody calls people with a surname. Like, I have a friend who's Patel. So we just call him Patel. Like, that is just how it is. One friend is Seth. So we call him Seth. So for me, at least, my last name is as big a part of my identity as my first name is.
Great, lovely. So one thing I would like to ask, last question is,
Yes.
uh, as you are into teaching also, I'm also. So sometimes I feel, especially in India, so mostly we all are running after like a certificate, documents, degrees. But sometimes I
Yes.
feel they should know any kind of need to prepare these kind of things. Okay, yes, from the beginning we should prepare our children, prepare our babies to, like, they are ready to, so they can ready to grab the things, skills. Okay, I
Okay.
think no need to put them schools. So what do you think
Okay.
about this?
Okay. So if I'm just paraphrasing your question, you think that we should be focusing more on skills than
Skills.
on specific educational qualifications, right? Like that. Okay. Um, I think it's a mix of a lot of things to this, right? Over a period of years, I have seen with my friends or my social circle, there were some people who didn't do well in schools at all, because the education system was not made for them. But they would have done really, really well if they went to a vocational school. A vocational school is what you have around the world that is focusing on what you're good at. So I knew somebody who actually went to college to learn how to make shoes, a shoemaking school. It's a 3-year degree. There is a college or institute for that in Bandra over here in Bombay. So he told me about that, and I was just like, "Oh, is there a school for that?" He's like, "Yeah, I went. It's a 3-year course. They teach you how to make shoes, right?" And good for him. Today, he is a fantastic shoemaker. He runs his own business, and he makes shoes for ballroom dancers. He's extremely famous in Mumbai now. He makes shoes for celebrities. Okay, he's that good. Now, if I'm sure he went to school, I'm sure his parents sent him to school, but he's not going to engage in physics, chemistry, biology. He's not going to be interested in geography or history. So, yes, to your point, I think it's important to know where your child's abilities lie. So it's good to do an assessment every few years. I feel like Indian education system focuses on examination. We don't assess. We examine people. There's a difference in both the words and both those things. We give students an 80-mark paper, 100-mark paper, and you say, do this in 3 hours and I'll judge you on this. An assessment is see over a year how this child has done. Okay, how are they engaging in class? Is this making sense to them? Are they good at this subject? Do they have questions for this subject? That is how you assess a student. So to think of it, parents have to realize that if their child is not good in basic education, when I say basic as in physics, chemistry, math, English, history, math, the Marathi, these kind of things, find something else for them. You know why? Because being in the wrong education system, right, it hampers your mental growth. It makes these students feel like they're not worth it. It makes these students feel like they're inconveniencing their parents. Parents also start feeling ashamed in schools because their kid is always coming last, their kid is always failing. But there's a reason why your kid is failing, right? That is because this is not making sense to them. So if you ask me, every parent should do a self assessment and not worry about log kya kahenge, because this is sadly where all Indian parents judge and do things on, oh my god, look at Sharma ji's son, he's doing so well. Look at that girl from your class, she's doing so well. And that is why parents sometimes put a lot of pressure on their kids. So don't put that pressure. Okay, everybody's not supposed to be Albert Einstein. Like everybody cannot be Aishwarya Rai, everybody cannot be Einstein, everybody cannot be Michael Phelps, everybody cannot be Sachin Tendulkar, right? So it is important to know that all children are not made same. So see where your children's focus lies on, what their interest lies on, and try to just kind of just try to elevate that for them, and you see how well they will do in life.
Exactly. Okay, so last 1 minute. Thank you so much, ma'am,
Sure.
for connecting me and accepting my request. It's insightful
No, thank
and
you so much.
valuable session. Have learned
Thank you
so
so
many
much, Kulbir,
things.
for having me over. Thank you so much. It was really engaging. It's been a while I have done this, right? I have not done podcast recordings for over a month now. So this was really interesting. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
And
thank you
also
so
all the
much.
best for your YouTube journey. And I'm sure you will only do well leaps and bounds. Okay. So stay put. I'm sure your YouTube future is going to look great.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am. Lovely day ahead. Definitely, I will love to connect with you again. So in future,
Certainly,
we will
certainly. If I get on my YouTube journey or something of that sort, I'll definitely reach out. I have made a YouTube channel, but honestly, I don't get the time to do this conversational videos. But I will work on it, and if it does, I will reach out to everybody who's called me, so that I can also ask you questions as my guest. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. Sure, definitely.
All right. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much,
Okay.
ma'am.
Take care.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye bye, ma'am.